Let's be honest, CPAP is not easy, but you might be making it harder than it needs to be. In my 27 years as a sleep doctor, I've seen thousands of people make these same 5 mistakes over and over again. And believe it or not, they actually have really simple solutions that you can implement tonight. So in this video, I'm gonna walk through the top 5 reasons I see people struggle with CPAP and what you can do about it. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Breus, the sleep doctor. One of the most common and easily addressable problems I see people struggle with is a dry nose and mouth. You might just write this off as one of the necessary negative side effects of CPAP. However, there is something you can and should do about it. A dry nose or a dry mouth is caused by, well, you guessed it, dry air. So what can you do? Simple. Start by just adjusting the humidification setting on your machine. Because the humidification setting is programmed into your machine at the start of you using it, you might assume that you shouldn't meddle with it. However, if the current moisture level isn't working for you, then you should definitely go into your machine and add more moisture. Over time, most of my patients figure out where to fill the water level in the reservoir so that it runs out as morning shows up. That way they don't have to dump it out every single morning. You can also consider buying a machine that has a heated humidifier, which helps preheat the air before you breathe it in, which can actually help increase moisture in the air. Or if you don't want to buy a whole new machine, you can get an aftermarket heated tube rather inexpensively. Now, if you're using a nasal pillow or a nasal mask, dry mouth might be a sign that air is escaping out your mouth. If that's happening, you should consider getting a different type of mask. The ones that we have a tendency to look at are full face masks. I know you may be hesitant to move to a full face mask, but it would be worth it if it can help stop your dry mouth. I also like to mention that there are some oral lubricating mouthwashes and toothpastes that you can get that actually work really, really well. It's also worth considering that you are experiencing dry mouth because you're breathing too much through your mouth at night versus breathing through your nose. As you know, I'm a big fan of nasal breathing. Not only is it healthier for you and will help you get better sleep, it also makes CPAP much more comfortable. To fix this, you can actually try a chin strap that will help hold your jaw shut. Or perhaps try nasal dilators that help keep your nose open and better able to breathe. Another easy fix for mouth and nasal dryness, make sure you're staying hydrated. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I see this one all the time. A patient of mine complains about constantly having dry mouth, and then we find out they're barely drinking any water during the day. So make sure you are staying well hydrated throughout the day. Just make sure to stop all fluids roughly 3 hours before bed. Another problem involving dryness, dry eyes. This is another aspect you might assume is just a necessary side effect and something you have to learn to tolerate if you want to be successful on CPAP. Not true. Most of the time, dry eyes are simply caused by air leaking out from your mask into your eyes. Air leak is really common with CPAP, and most people will experience it at one time or another. To fix this, you want to ensure that the mask is fitting on your face properly. Take the time to understand the manufacturer's recommendation on how the mask should feel on your face. It's worth the effort to get a proper fit and minimize any mask leaks. Also, make sure to clean your mask and tubing on a weekly basis. This will ensure that the seals stay working and it helps prevent any buildup of bacteria. If neither of the above help, try using a different mask. I usually encourage my patients to try out a number of different CPAP masks to find which one fits more comfortably for them. Don't assume the first mask you get is going to automatically be the right one. Try different ones out because they come in such a wide variety of shapes and sizes, kind of like people's faces. This is not only a good tip to just improve dry eyes, but can also go a long way to increasing your overall sense of comfort when wearing your CPAP machine. Another problem you might be dealing with is aerophagia. This is a really uncomfortable condition that happens when you start to swallow air into your stomach, causing bloating, burping, and even gas. Unfortunately, this is very common with new CPAP users. However, fortunately, there's a really easy fix for this one. If you're struggling with aerophagia, it is most likely because your pressure settings are actually too high. Your CPAP machine is providing too much air and your body actually doesn't fully know how to process it and gets some swallowed down into your belly. If you're a new CPAP user, it would be worth talking with your medical provider about lowering your air pressure settings so you can acclimate better to the CPAP. before then gradually raising the pressure level back up to the right level you need to fully treat your apnea. Just know that if your setting is too low, your apneic events might cause you to swallow air as well. So make sure to closely track your pressure levels night by night. You can also try elevating your head by about 30 degrees. This position helps eliminate swallowing air. It can be a little bit harder to sleep this way, especially if you're a side sleeper. So I usually recommend to my patients who have more extreme cases of aerophagia to do this. You could also consider talking with your doctor about switching to a different type of machine called a BiPAP machine. This provides two separate levels of air pressure, one for when you're inhaling and then one that's less when you're exhaling. Before we go on to the next one, if you enjoy this kind of sleep content, please give this video a like and go subscribe to the channel below. Your support allows me to keep making this kind of sleep content for you in the future. And if you're interested in learning even more about CPAP, I've got a website with tons of content, including articles, product reviews, a shop page, and more. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Next, I want to talk about a problem pretty much everyone on CPAP experiences: discomfort. If you are first starting out on CPAP, simply wearing the mask itself might make you uncomfortable. If that is a problem that you're experiencing, I'd like to suggest trying something called systematic desensitization. The way this works is that you start wearing your CPAP for periods of time while you're awake. This can be when you're watching TV or reading a book, but the idea here is that you get your face used to having a mask on it. Start with small amounts of time, like 15 minutes, and then sort of gradually work your way up. As your face gets more and more used to wearing the mask during the day, it will be much easier to fall asleep with it on at night. Next, make sure you aren't wearing your mask too tight. I see this a lot. People assume they need to have the mask wrenched to their face. You really don't need to have it all that tight. If your mask fits correctly, you should be able to gently put it on and tighten it so that it firmly fits on your face without feeling too tight. Finally, if you're experiencing any discomfort from skin irritations, I've got a really simple fix. Just get some water-based lubricant and run it along the seal of the mask. This can help tremendously when dealing with skin irritation. Just make sure not to get a petroleum-based lubricant, because that can actually eat away at the mask seal. The last problem I want to address is one I see pretty much every one of my patients on CPAP struggle with at one time or another. Honestly, I think it's one of the biggest reasons people fail at CPAP. It's not dry mouth or aerophagia or discomfort. It all comes down to mindset. I know it sounds weird, but having the wrong mindset about CPAP can make your experience a lot worse than it needs to be. At the same time, having the right mindset is going to do wonders for you. Believe me, I've seen this many times in my patients. By simply changing their mindset, they can change their entire CPAP experience. So what am I talking about? Well, when it comes to CPAP, I think there are at least three key misunderstandings that people have. Number one, they think this is going to be easy, or at the very least, they don't think it's going to be very hard. Let me hit you with some truth. CPAP sucks, okay? At first, not forever, but at first. Those first 30 to 45 days you're on CPAP are gonna be difficult. Your body isn't used to having a machine strapped to it, pumping air into your lungs all night. But guess what? You will get used to it. It just takes your body some time, which brings me to the next big misunderstanding people have about CPAP. They think that success is gonna happen overnight. Like I said, this is a process. It takes time. Do not go in expecting on your first night that you're going to wear your CPAP for the full 8 hours. At the same time, don't be too hard on yourself if you take it off in the middle of the night. Even if you wear it for just 5 minutes, that's okay. Just try the next night to wear it for 10 minutes and then for 15 after that. It's okay to take your time and work your way up to a full night of using it. And it took me 3 weeks to be able to sleep an entire night with the mask on my face with air blowing. So it's important for you to be patient and to be kind to yourself. All you have to do is focus on getting started. Finally, a huge misunderstanding people can have about CPAP, and this one is really tragic, they think it's not worth it. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you're suffering from sleep apnea, CPAP is by far the absolute best thing that you can do for your health. By being successful on CPAP, you not only live longer, you'll live better. And believe me, you can do this. I've been through this with my patients time and time again. I've seen so many people who thought CPAP just wouldn't work for them. And by fixing their mindset and focusing on solving a few small problems, they made it work for them. And it made all the difference. But I will say, if you continue to struggle with CPAP, please check out my website. I've collected a tremendous amount of different resources together to help troubleshoot any of the problems you might be experiencing. Plus, I've got a shop with different types of mask options, machines, and even supply bundles. So do me a favor and check it all out. This is Dr. Michael Breus, the Sleep Doctor, wishing you sweet dreams.